Welcome back to Final Fantasy VIII. Now everyone, I'm going to show you something and I don't want you to freak out too much because I kind of went a little bit berserk when it came to card collecting. So I'm going to show you guys just how many cards I got. Keep in mind you don't need as many cards, but like I said, just by challenging the players that I mentioned in the previous part, I was able to collect all of these cards in a fairly fast amount of time. Now as you can see, I maxed out the amount of level 2 cards that I can have. Those were obtained by challenging both the man at the train station and the 3P number 1. I don't have as many level 3 and level 4 cards, but I got more than I need to for this part of the game. And as you can see, level 5 cards, which was what I really wanted, I got plenty. As you can see, I got 64 Marlboro cards, more than enough that I need. I got 57 Elnoil cards, I only needed 20 to be able to obtain 2 energy crystals for Squall's final weapon. Even though I suppose you can keep collecting more if you also want to obtain Quisty's final weapon early on in the game. So yeah, it really wasn't that bad because just by challenging the specific players I didn't have to run around and simply be collecting lots of cards that I didn't need. So that's why it was so fast. Now I'm going to show you the power of card mod. So card mod, like I said, allows you to convert cards into items. I got so many cards, I'm about to get a lot of items. Not all of these cards are necessarily necessary. This is one of the cards that you really want. Like I said, the Gala cards converts into mystery fluids, and each mystery fluid can be converted into 10 meltdowns, which you'll be obtaining later on in the game. And with 63 mystery fluids, we got enough meltdowns for all the characters in the game. Black holes are really useful too, to obtain demis. Water crystals we won't really need, but they can't hurt to have. Like I said, convert all the cards into items, especially because later on in the game, the random rule, there are certain areas that use the random rule, so you won't want to keep these weak cards anyway. The Mesmerize card, another very useful card. You can convert each Mesmerize card into Mesmerize Blade, and later on with Siren's Live Magic Refinement, you'll be able to convert each Mesmerized Blade into 20 regions. So I got enough regions for the entire party. Arctic Queens. Like I said, you don't necessarily need all of these items, but they're useful to have. You'll be able to convert not only to obtain lots of magic early on, but you'll also be able to obtain lots of weapons early on. And like I said, our goal is to obtain the Lion Heart on this one. So just keep converting them over and over. Chef's Knife allows you to learn that. Windmill is a very important card, and Windmill is a very important item, and that's why it's so important to collect Abyss Worm cards, because each windmill using Thunder Magic Refinement can be converted into 20 tornadoes, and tornado is such a powerful magic to have this early on in the game. My characters will be so powerful. Dino Bones allows you to learn Quake, another really useful magic to have. Dynamo Stun, Stun Daggers, which we won't really need. Steel Orbs, Live Rings, really useful as well. Wizard Stones. Fury Fragments will need a few for Zel's final weapon. Star Fragments, you can't really use them all that much at this point in the game unless to obtain weapons, but we will be needing them later on to obtain Meteor Magic. Elastoid cards are very useful as well to obtain Steel Pipes. You'll need Steel Pipes to not only to obtain a few weapons, but also to obtain the Doom Train GF later on. You'll need 6 Steel Pipes 16 Balmoral tentacles, we'll need it not only for Christie's weapons but also for the Doom Train side quests. We got more than enough. 7 Infernal Fangs, which you can convert this early on into flares, which are really useful as well. And this is the card that we really wanted, the Elnoil cards, 10 of each revive into 1 energy crystal. And then we can use Efreet magic, Efreet's ammo refinement to convert those energy crystals into pulse ammo. Chef's knife and explosions, they don't hurt to have as well, and we don't want to convert any of our main cards right away. I'll be converting the items into magic later on when I have both Zell and Safer in my party. Right now we're going to get ready for the SeeD exam. I'm a little bit nervous about the exam. No, I'm not. I've been nervous about exams before. This isn't one of them, so... Now we don't need to save the game. We got it pretty much covered. And we are about to beat our teammates. The first teammate that we're going to meet will be Zell, who will make a very flashy entrance in a little while, in just a moment. Here he comes. Zell's cool, Squall, come on, don't be like that. Mike Tyson tattoo and all. Yeah, quite the dynamic pair, I'd say. Now guys, Zell is a extremely powerful character in this game. His limit break can deal the biggest amount of damage per turn. If you use the Punch Rush and Booyah ability over and over, if you have Zell's HP extremely low and use Aura on him, he can deal like over 200,000 per damage in a single turn. So that means that he can pretty much defeat every single boss in this game in a single turn, except for Omega Weapon and Ultimecia's final form. Like I said, per turn Zell can deal more damage than Squall's Lionheart, and their Vine's quick ammo and Rinoa's Meteor combination. So, like I said, he's a very useful character to use if you're having problems beating certain bosses. Oh. And here comes our rival. I really don't understand why they made him the leader. I mean, at this point I dare say that Zell would be a better leader than Saber. I mean, he only cares about himself. Burn. Now this is very important, guys. From this point in the game, all your actions are already counting towards your final SeeD rank score. Like I said, we already had the judgment score rated based on the time limit that we had in the Friar Cavern after we defeated Efreet. But there are other requirements to gain the maximum score in your SeeD exam. I won't be getting the maximum score simply because I want to fight a certain boss later on that will give my GFs lots of AP. But one of the requirements, and at this point the only requirement that you need to worry about, is that you can't talk to any characters. The only thing you can talk is when Safer asks you to go check outside. You should go check outside, but outside of that you can't talk to anyone. because that will affect your score. Yeah, and you're just going to stay there in your office, eating donuts. Like you always do. Yeah. Alright. Now another thing to take into consideration, guys, during the SeeD mission is that you can obtain, like I said, it's not convenient for you to have both Squall and Zell level up. Don't show him the gameplay. Nope. Nope. Scrooge. But like I said, we don't want to level up Squall and Zell, so we're going to let Safer pretty much rack up all the experience points. Because one of the requirements to gain the maximum score, there's an attack rank, and to get 100 points in the attack rank you need to kill at least 75 enemies during the SeeD exam, and that would mean that Squall and Zell would level up a lot, which we don't want. So we're going to knock them out at the first battle, and we're just going to let Safer take care of all the battles. Yeah, and we got an a-hole too. Here we go. Now before we board the submarine or boat, whatever that is, we want to convert items into magic, and I want to go to the gun shop because at this point on I can already obtain Squall's twin lance if I'm not mistaken, and I'm pretty sure I can also obtain, not quite yet, ma'am. We're just going to go and get our weapons. So before we even start the mission, we need to, let's junction everything off Squall, and let's junction everything off Twisties, and we're going to junction everything to Safer. Classical achievement method. Before I did that, I should have really converted the items into magic. Now we're going to use the refinement abilities that we learned to convert items. We suppose thunders are a little bit useful. Oh, and by the way, guys, all the magic that Safer obtains will be passed on to Selfie later on, so you really don't need to worry all that much. We got enough chiefs sheer feathers to teach a arrow to everyone. Coral fragment and Daras, I suppose. Now here we go, tornadoes, that's what we want. I suppose. We don't really need to use the dynamo stones because we're getting Tandagas while we're playing as Safer. But I suppose it doesn't hurt to give them at least one character. That way I'll have to draw less. Ice magic refinement. We can get waters to everyone. Blizzards we don't need. I could have used the water crystals. We can get blizzards to everyone, which we really don't need as well, but doesn't hurt. Blizzagas, we really don't need to use them all that much because again, safer will draw them later on. But it doesn't hurt to give them so that you can draw less, and we don't need the north winds for anything. Fire magic refinement, fires. I suppose it doesn't hurt to have a few fires. Fire agas, we'll draw them later on as well. And Infernal Fang's flares, which is again another very powerful magic to obtain. Now as you can see, this makes my characters pretty much strong. I suppose we can optimize. So yeah, with these junctions we have Saphers really powerful at this point on. We don't have to worry. I don't like this combination though. Nah, I suppose we can keep it. It doesn't matter. The enemies are so weak that we're really not going to have lots of trouble. So we're going to move on. We're going to upgrade our weapons a little bit. Like I said, we can obtain the punishment right from the start. See, that's the power of card mod, is that our characters are already... We could obtain Save the Queen right away, which is Quisty's final weapon, and we're very early on in the game, but we want to save those energy crystals. Like I said, if I had collected a few more Elnoil cards, I would consider obtaining Save the Queen, but it's more important to me to obtain the Lionheart, and I'm really not that inclined to play a lot more card games, to be honest with you guys. So yeah, we're going to wait until to get Quisty Save the Queen later on in the game, and we're pretty much set. Like I said, Safer is more than powerful enough at this point to pretty much defeat every single enemy. AP Junction, got everything. Oh, we can also teach a lot of limit breaks to Quisties. Generator, Wacko Breath, Ultra Waves. She's going to learn most of her limit breaks this early on in the game. Gatling Gun. And Bad Breath. And Barrier. See, so as you can see, Quisty just pretty much learned all the main abilities that she needed to learn. So we're going to move on in the game. Again, guys, remember, don't talk with anyone, just walk inside and be quiet. Another important requirement is that you always obey to Safer's commands. Whatever he tells you to do, you must do it. I know it sucks because he's an a-hole, but well, that's just how it is. What's up with her face? I never noticed Shu's face was like this. Oh my god. It took playing this game in HD to realize that her face looks so derpy. We're supposed to kick ass. And again, the withdraw order affects your conduct. To get 100 points, you have to get to the beach with 25 minutes or less when the withdraw order comes. Don't do anything, otherwise it will affect your score. And get ready to enjoy one of the best cutscenes in this game, in my opinion. I swear this music gets me so pumped up, I'm ready to kick ass. Before we do that, we're going to give Quitty's cures to Safer, because I really want to boost up my vitality. Alright, now we're ready to go kick ass. Now guys, remember, you need to beat 75 enemies to gain the maximum score on your attack points. We don't want Squall and Zell to level up, so we're going to knock them out. And you need to, in order for the kills to count, you can't use GFs. You have to Squall's dead. You can't use Guardian Force. It has to be Safer or Zell or Squall if you're deciding to use them to kill the enemies. Guardian Force kills don't count. Remember, the number that we're looking for is 75, but we're going to do a lot more killing because we want Safer to level up and increase, so that we can increase the enemies levels, so that we can draw Kuraga, Firaga, Tandaga and Blizzaga from them. You probably need to get Safer to around level 60 to do it, level 60 or above, in order to be able to drain the magic from the enemies. You don't have to worry at all because they're, like I said, they're really weak at this point in the game. And Safer, there's a difference between him and the other characters in the sense that if Safer's HP is below 84% of his usual level, he'll be able to use a limit break. So you don't need to get his HP to critical level in order for him to use a limit break. And at this point in the game, His limit breaks can kill all the enemies that you'll encounter in a single turn. I do have to admit, who goes around calling out for enemies to appear? I mean, so by using Safer in battle, essentially what we're doing is that we'll be able to not only teach our Guardian Forces important abilities and allow them to level up as well, but also be able to draw powerful magic with our characters at a very weak level or low level. There's one more enemy that we need to beat, which is standing behind. There he is. But like I said, it may seem that leveling up Safer and training him takes a lot of time. It doesn't. And I'll show you why a little bit later on. But for now, yeah, just keep killing them until you reach the designated area. And we need to report it to Safer. All we can do now is wait. And apparently the dog is annoying Safer a little bit. I like the dog though. It seems to me someone's getting impatient. Well, who would want to face us anyway? We're overpowered, you know, pretty much until the end of the game almost. I don't blame them. Yes. I like dogs, don't be like that, man. Hey, I just noticed that it says ristorante. So I'm guessing in Doolittle they have Italian restaurants. That's nice. That's right. Yeah, I don't get that either. I guess they're war comrades or something. You're taking the fall for this one. Bye, doggy. Because we're just following the captain's orders, so Squall and Zell can't be held accountable for following the chain of command. Which again, I don't understand why Safer was made the leader. He seems the least qualified to be. Don't talk with any of the soldiers. And we need to save him. Anaconda. Now these enemies, you'll most definitely want to fight these enemies because one of the items that they can drop, even though rarely, it's dragon skins. And dragon skins are a required item that we'll need for Zell's final weapon. Like I said, they don't always drop it, but it happens, and you can fight a lot of them in this area, so you should stick around. Okay guys, so at this point we don't want to move to the next screen because we want Safer. First of all, we need to rack up those 75 kills with Safer to get our maximum attack score, but we also want to level up Safer. Now there are two areas that are the best ones to level up Safer quickly and to gain lots of AP for your Guardian forces. It's this area right here. And the reason why this area is so useful is because you can fight two Anacondas at the same time, and the Anacondas at this point in the game drop the biggest amount of XP, and you can also fight 3 Doolittle soldiers at the same time. Or actually, not Doolittle, 3 G soldiers. And the G elite soldier who also drop a fair amount of experience points and AP. The other area where you can fight is on the bridge area, because you can face either face 1 G soldier or 3 G soldiers at the per turn. But I really believe that this area is the best, simply because you can fight the 2 Anacondas. And they drop the biggest amount of experience, and we want those dragon skins. So I'm just going to show you until those two pop up. Like I said, the process really isn't that complicated. Thanks to our junction magic, Safer can take all the enemies with a single attack, and you can always use his Fire Cross limit break, which again takes out all the enemies at the same time. So you're really not wasting that much time by leveling Safer up. Another reason why we want to do this and train Safer is because we want our Guardian forces to level up as well. And that's because one of the requirements to obtain Squall's Lionheart this early on in the game is to have Efrit at level 10. And the reason for that is because only when Ifrit is at level 10 will he be able to learn the Ammo Refinement ability. And the Ammo Refinement ability is one of the requirements that we need to obtain Squall's Lionheart, because we want the Ammo Refinement ability to convert 2 energy crystals into pulse ammo, and we need 12 pulse ammos, if I'm not mistaken, in order to obtain the Lionheart. So like I said, we just have to keep running around. If this area isn't working out for you guys, you can try the bridge area. I do recommend, just as a safe precaution, that you save your game from time to time, especially because you're probably not going to do this in only a couple of hours. Like I said, we're essentially grinding at this point, so it's going to take a while. but you just need to keep fighting over and over, and if you do, you'll see that you level up very quickly. There you go, that's the monsters that we wanted. They'll drop a huge chunk of experience points and also 8 AP if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, one limit break finishes them off. So I'm not going to show you guys me grinding over and over because it can get repetitive. Just remember that your goal is 75 kills. You'll obviously need to keep killing a lot more in order to get safer to level 60 or higher, because usually that's the level that you'll need for the enemies to have Fairaga, Tendaga, Blizzaga and Kuraga. And then what you'll do is use Safer to draw those magic spells, and then exchange those magic spells to the other characters, and before you'll know it, you'll have 100 of both Kuraga, Blizzaga, Tendaga and Fairaga, and even bios, because you can draw a bio from Anacondas at a higher level. You'll have all the characters that are available at this point in the game with all of those magics, which are really powerful to have this early on. So I'm going to stop in this segment right here. In the next segment we're going to pretty much go into the communication tower and take on the Elvoret boss battle and Biggs and Witch. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, and by the way guys, thank you so much for giving me over 12 million views. I'm really happy for it. I can't believe I reached 12 million views so fast, and just thank you very much guys. So I'll see you on the next part. Thank you for watching.